Welcome to Your Son, the Youth and Women's Support Network. I'm Charmaine Sangari from Myself Central. Here are a few of the steps that we've covered so far on this journey to wholeness. Step 1, we were looking at how to become self-sufficient. Step 2 was how to become creative, and we looked at doing a makeover as part of your creative juices beginning to flow. In week 3, we looked at knowing what you want, and week 4, it was about taking responsibility for your life and for what you want. This week, we're going to talk about how to set boundaries in your relationships. Coming out of an incarcerated situation, you may have different relationships from the relationships that you had previously, or you may have the same relationships that you had previously. It is now your opportunity to assess which relationships are beneficial towards your future and which are not. When you begin to start putting boundaries in place with people in the relationships that you have, there will be an uncomfortable feeling that will manifest. This is because maybe the people in your life are not used to you having boundaries, or they are not used to having boundaries that they adhere to themselves. Boundaries allows you to assess what your morals and your values are. And when you instill boundaries into your life, it gives you a sense of self-esteem and empowerment, because you are putting in boundaries that are going to help you develop positive, healthy relationships. And when boundaries get broken, it gives you the opportunity to assess whether this relationship is worth taking forward and moving forward with, or whether it's something that's actually going to hold you back. So the boundaries that you put in place are going to be very beneficial towards you creating a future that you want. The way that implementing boundaries is going to unfold in your life is not necessarily going to be you going out into the world and saying, I'm this, I'm that, and I don't accept this, and I don't accept that, and this is who I am now. It will be something that's a lot more subtle that will come up in natural conversations. So it will be something that you now feel you don't want to be disrespected, for example. You'll then find yourself in a situation where you could be being disrespected. This is now your opportunity to put the boundary in place by saying something very simple, not necessarily aggressive, not passive either, just assertive. Please don't speak to me like that. And that assertiveness that's not aggressive and it's not passive is going to be how you will set a boundary in that situation. Obviously, depending on who you're talking to, you're going to see how that boundary being put into place is going to be received by the other person. You will very quickly find the people in your life that are fake. You'll very quickly find the people in your life that are holding you back by having boundaries and by setting boundaries. It will be just simply by you consistently maintaining your boundaries and maintaining the place where you want to be and where you want to hold yourself within your character. When setting boundaries with friends and family and partners, it's important that you do communicate your needs and your desires and what your boundaries are, but this has to be done in a very respectful and assertive way. You don't want to cause contention between people who have been there for you in the past, or who may have been in your life for a long time but you want to distance yourself away from. This is a slow, gentle process, and it's something that is going to need to be implemented by you in a very gentle manner so as not to cause alarm with friends and family. You don't want them on your back, you don't want them telling you what to do, but you do want to make sure that your boundaries are being adhered to by the people that you are choosing to be in company with. Setting boundaries gives you the opportunity to let people know who you are, and you are not leaving yourself open to people being able to assume what your boundaries are. So people can't assume to take the piss out of you because they know full well that's not something that you're going to actually stand for. Setting boundaries is very important to follow through with what you say. So if you have said that you do not like something, or you do like something, and someone in a relationship with you continues to overstep your boundary, it is important that you follow through with what you say. So that means that if they are completely taking the piss and consistently disrespecting you, you need to actively let that person know that you will be taking a step back. And you don't even have to tell them. It will be because you are actively just taking that step back and stepping back, not answering phone calls, not making yourself so available. Boundaries is another really good way to take responsibility for your own life, because you will be able to assess your past and previous choices and decisions that you have made. And if you are honest with yourself, you will see where you may have let people overstep your boundaries, or where you've overstepped your own boundaries and let yourself get into situations that you probably wouldn't necessarily want to get into. So now is your opportunity to set boundaries and to set out the new life that you want and that you desire. This can be done by simply setting your boundaries. You stake your claim by setting your boundaries, and everything in there is yours. It's now up to you to notice the red flags that occur in your day-to-day life as you interact with people you have relationships with. If you are being disrespected, if you're not being treated a certain way, it is your responsibility to distance yourself from that person. You will not become the best version of yourself if you're hanging around with people that want to hold you down and hold you back. Boundaries act as the guidelines of how you want to be treated. So that's why it's so empowering to actually know what your values and your morals and your principles are, so that when you set these boundaries, you're setting up the life that you want and how you want to be treated. The world will only reflect back to you how you feel you deserve to be treated. So it is your responsibility to set boundaries and to maintain them. When you're setting new boundaries with old people from your life, you will come against a certain level of resistance, and this can manifest itself as anger towards you. If people are angry that you are setting boundaries and putting in something in place for yourself that is to better yourself, that is showing that there is a character flaw in them. So don't take it personally. Recognize that their anger is their problem, and it's just something that you need to keep yourself away from at this time. You're not going to be able to control how people respond to you. You can only control how you respond back to them and what you want from them and what you want from the situation. And if it isn't helpful, then you've got to just keep moving. Don't take it personally. Please don't take it personally. I know it's going to be hard, and you're going to see, you're not going to see, but hopefully you won't see it. But if you do experience anger and resistance from people you really didn't expect it from, just know it's their problem. It's not yours. You need to just keep it moving in your direction to where you want to go. System that you wanted may not be the support system that is the most beneficial for you, and that is why we have establishments like Your Son who are here to support you during this time of transition. Please do feel free to contact them at yourson.org or on their Instagram, and you can also contact me, Charmaine, on Myself Central or Miss Moore on Instagram. We are here to support you, and we will help you get through this time. You don't necessarily need to rely on the people from your past who may not have the keys and the tools and the knowledge to be able to support you as you are transitioning towards the life that you want. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe and hit that bell so you have a notification every time we post a new video. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and we are also on Twitter as well, yourson.org. Have a yawesome day.